So, hello everyone. We are live right now. So, today we would be focusing on D3, D3JS for data visualization. So, what is a D3JS? D3JS is an open source JavaScript library for visualizing data. It's a low level approach built on web standards offered. So, this library allows us to uh, create data visualizations. um, so if you go for example, um, so this everything that can be done with D3JS, and it is very low level. It's very low level, which means you can do just about anything you want with this library. And yeah, so it basically is like a DOM manipulation tool, the document object model manipulation tool that is really flexible. Um, so so therefore it you can use D3 to directly manipulate the SVG and the canvas. So this is how HTML actually draws things into the web page. So we can use D3. So D3 means data-driven documents, and we can use it to easily manipulate the DOM to display whatever images, visualizations we want. And it has a lot of libraries within it to allow us to do that. So, and it's really helpful. And the documentation is also very detailed, so we can do a lot with this. So as the first video, as the first live stream, I would like to do Sol-Vit. Sol-Vit, I would like to generate this artwork with D3JS. So that's the goal for this live stream right now. So let's see how we can do this. So with D3JS, you can actually do this by manipulating the SVG element of HTML. SVG means scalable vector graphics, and HTML has an element like this that we can use to create like our own vector graphics with HTML code. So within this SVG tag, you can write, you know, code that can that can draw certain images for you. So in the SVG, you have um, a bunch of tags that help you draw shapes and certain things like that. So you can draw rectangles, you can draw star, you can draw polygons, and you can even draw like paths as well. So it's like a different language that you can use to visualize images programmatically. And D3 allows us to do that very easily. So using that, we can generate an art piece like this in D3. And also all of these examples that you see are also done using manipulating the SVG element. So yeah, so once we have the basics figured out, then we can move on to visualizing data as well in the same manner. So what we learned from, you know, visualizing this image in D3 allows us to transfer those skills that we learned to visualizing data as well. So yeah, so that's the plan for today. So let's get started on that. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to open up my app.js. So I have already created the starter HTML for this, so index.html, and I have just imported the D3 library, and then I have my app.js JavaScript file as well. And when you run this here, I have opened it here. I have printed out the D3 library. So from here we can access D3 like this, and also we can access D3 sub libraries as well. So one of the main libraries is called the select. Okay, D3 select, that's the main one. So D3 select allows us to select elements in the HTML element. So for example, we can select tags, and then we can append stuff into the tags. We can select a tag, we can append the tag into the selected tag, and then we can modify the attributes of this tag, and then we can append another tag inside. So likewise, we can manipulate the DOM using the select library. So there are multiple libraries like that, like axis, code, color. These all are sub libraries of D3, which we can access. D3.axis, this one, the axis top. D3.color might be another one here. Color is another one, sub library. So D3. So there are many libraries that we can use, which are given here. So selection is the library that we are mainly going to use for this one, because we need to manipulate the DOM. That's the most common library that you would use to manipulate the DOM. So we are going to use that as well. Yeah, if you see the documentation, there are various functions that we can use to, manipulate the DOM and do certain things. So yeah, so the first thing we are going to do is to manipulate the DOM and create a SVG element with a certain width and a certain height. So that's the first thing that we are going to do. So let's do that. So we'll go here. So go to Sol-Vit app.js, and yeah, I will start here. I will select the body tag, and then I would append svg. That I would set the attribute of the svg. The width would be, let's say, 800. Then the height, I would say 600. So yeah, this code would select the body tag, append a svg element, and then it would create a width attribute of the svg element to be 800, the height attribute of the svg to be 600. So yeah, so that's the first thing. Let's see, once we reload, we can see how it works. So, okay, so if I see the DOM of the HTML code that I refreshed now, the SVG, there is a SVG element appended into the body with a width of 800 and a height of 600. So that happened because of our code that we wrote. So when you program, it's usually good to not hard code the 800 and the 600 into numbers. We can take them out as variables. So I would define the width to be 800 as a global variable here, the height also 600, and then I would plug those variables here like that. Then when I refresh, still the same values are there. So now, okay, so we have a SVG element in our DOM. Now we want to basically make it so that we have so we are trying to create this Sol-Vit piece, specifically this circle that we are trying to create. Then later we will try to see how we can create the other shapes as well. But for now, let's keep it simple and create only the circle piece. In here, you can see there are vertical lines going downwards. So we can create that first, the background of the piece. So how can we do that? So to do that, I think we need to draw rectangles in the background. So yeah, so that's what we are going to do. So in SVG, we can do that with the SVG I think rectangle. So yeah, using this rectangle tag, we can draw a rectangle on the screen. So yeah. So this is what we are going to do. And we can give it a XY coordinate, width and height, and yeah, I think you can give a fill as well to fill the rectangle. I think if you go to the official documentation, let's see, rounded. Okay, there is a fill attribute as well. So the fill attribute has two different medium. Okay. So we can use the fill attribute to put the color into the rectangle as well. So XY, width and the height. Okay. But before that, I need to check if we are live. Okay, we are live. Okay. So, right. So that's what we are going to do right now. Let's see. Let's try to create one rectangle inside the SVG element and see if it works. So in the SVG element, I'm going to append a rect. That means a rectangle. And then I'm going to add the attribute for fill. It's going to be black. And then attribute for X, which is like, let's say 10. Attribute for Y, also 10. Then attribute for, yeah, width 200. Attribute for height, also 200. Okay. Okay. So let's see if it renders into the DOM. Okay. So yeah. So as you can see, the rectangle is now rendered into the DOM. So using D3, we can do that. And all the attributes are also set as well. So I don't want this rectangle. I want like multiple rectangles, you know, for which has the height of the entire width, entire height of the SVG, and the width should be equally divided among the rectangles. So I need to do that. So yeah, so this one we need to basically we need to basically use a loop or something to do this. So in D3 there is a way we can do that. to create multiple elements. I think it's called D3 join. So D3, you search for join. Um, there's article on how to join data. So basically D3 works with data. So joining means taking a data structure, and then we can create the same element to all these all this data at once. So this is a good example of how it's done. So D3 does select, it selects the body, it appends the table, it selects all the tr tags in the table, and then it uses the data operator and on the tr and passes in the metrics, and then it joins all the data. So this is like tr means like a table row. So this is one table row, this is another one. So it joins the table rows, and for each element in the matrix. So one element of the matrix is this array. So it selects all the td elements in the tr, and then using the data um, operator again, it joins all the tds together, and then it modifies the text inside the td to be uh, the a single value. So it takes the row, which is the td, and then takes a cell, which is the sorry, the row is the tr and the cell is the td. So it does that, and it creates this the table. So we can do something similar to this, but with one single array. So with one array we can you know so with one array we can define the rectangles, and then we can use the join operator to create multiple um, HTML elements for each element in the array, and then we can create these rectangles one by one. So let's do that. So I need to keep this as a reference as well. Okay. So here I don't need that, so I would just do this, and I can take this variable into svg variable like that. Um, yeah, that's fine. And this svg variable would have this svg element, you know, attached to that one. So then we can create array. We can create array that has the okay. So the number of rectangles is, so the what is the width of one rectangle? Width of, so rect width, let's say it's a constant of 30. So the number of rectangles is then is the width divided by the rect width. Since we need to equally divide each rectangle with the width, we can get the number of rectangles like that. So once we get the number of rectangles, we can do something to generate the array without us generating the array. So so in D3 we have a function called the range, I think. Yeah, range. range. Yeah, the range returns array of evenly spaced numbers. So we can do something like go to the console. Range 0 to 600 is the width, and divide by 30. Yeah, yeah, this might work. So it has like the the x coordinates of each of the ones. So these are evenly spaced as well, and I think we can use this one to. Okay. Um, yeah, this might work. So it creates this array that we can use. So we can say um, yeah, okay. So this is the rect data is the array of all the um, x portions of the rectangles evenly spaced by 30. So we can use that one, and then um, we can also use um, three, okay, join data. Yeah, this one. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So here we can do svg dot select all rect dot data rect data dot the join the rects dot attribute width is the rect width. Yeah. The height is the rect height. Dot attribute x is the. So x is like we can do a function as well. So once you call the data operator, it has the array, and then it loops the array and creates all these rect elements because the join does that. And the width is the rect width, which is 30. Height is the full height. So this is not rect height. It should be height. Then x is so x is the the single element of this range array that we created. So x would be a function basically. It takes the d. So d is like one single element of this array. So it loops through the entire array and create these rect elements. So this is the corresponding x coordinate of that one, and then the y should be, I think, should be 0, because it should start in the top corner. So in graphics, always the top left corner is 0 0, so y is 0 here, so this top line, everything is 0 for y, but x is going along the width. So we keep the y as 0, and then if we change the x, then the rectangles would propagate across the width. So that's why we do that. I think it could work. Let's see. Okay, so it let's see what happens. Okay, I see what happens. So each one is created, but yeah, I think we need to keep a gap. So one of these ones needs to be deleted. So if you delete that one, and yeah, so you need to delete these ones, and start the next one over here. So I think should be um, okay. Okay, now it's looking okay. See, uh, so the x one I just multiplied by 2 the width, so that the second rectangle is ignored, not ignored, but there's a gap between this rectangle and this one by 30. So that's why I multiplied by 2. Maybe if I do this like 10, so we can, make the lines more more smaller as well. But I think it would be nice if it's like 15. Yeah, 15 is quite okay. Let's see here. 15 is okay. So that's the join operator. It creates multiple elements of the data. So our data is just expressions, but still data. So this data, if you are going to visualize data, this would be like actual data set, and then we can create certain elements based on this data by looping them. And in D3 you don't need loops, you just need the join operator, and it creates the rectangles for each. It creates basically any element for each of the data points that you have. And yeah, you can do a lot with that one, but for now we just use it to create rectangles. So right, that's that. So we created this vertical rectangles, but we need to create the this circle, and this circle is kind of interesting because this is using what is called SVG mask, is how you do this effect. So SVG mask is something we need to learn a bit to make this one. So SVG mask is like you can hide certain elements and show certain elements using the mask. So it's basically a tag that is called mask, and it has the ID of you can provide ID, and then if you create a element, you can reference that mask using this URL and this hash, and then the ID of the mask that you created. So so it says here everything under a white pixel will be visible. So under the mask you can create any type of shapes that you want. So in this example it has created like a rectangle and created the path. So in here you can create a rectangle and you can create a path. So in the comment you can see everything under a white pixel will be visible. That means white pixel. So everything under a white pixel means this rectangle would be visible because it's white, and this black pixel will be invisible, and this black pixel is a path, but this path is like a heart shape, and you can see the heart shape inside there is nothing, like it's transparent because it's black. So the mask, so everything under black pixel will be invisible. So this shape is black, so therefore um, since it's inside the mask, and when you um, yeah, when you put it into, you know, a shape, it would be transparent. So that's what the mask does. It hides certain things and it reveals certain things. And yeah, and if you take this out and if you see what this is, to like oh, I think you can. Oh yeah, we can play with this. Okay, I can. Okay. If we forget about the mask and if we take this out and maybe publish thing. Yeah, so this is what the mask looks like without anything, without the mask. So you can see the rectangle is, you know, white and the heart is black. So the rectangle would be visible. So uh, so everything under the black pixel would be invisible. So yeah, that's how it works. So for this one also we need to use a mask. So basically the mask would be to create so we need to like so we need to create a mask that is like a shape like a circle basically, and so it would be like a black square with a white circle, because everything in the white circle we need to show, but everything you know, behind the white circle we don't need to show. So it should be a mask with with um, with a black square and a white circle in the middle. So that would be our mask. So we can create the mask, and we need another mask as well. And the other mask would be a white sorry, a black circle with a white square, so that we can show the, you know, show the background. So there would be two masks for this one. It's a bit tricky to understand, but once you get used to it, it makes sense. So I would have a variable called mask1, which is svg dot uh, svg dot append mask. Then the attribute would be So mask also has attributes. So let's see. Oh, it has this ID. I will say mask one. It also has other things as well. So it has elements inside it. So we can append. Let's append. Let's append a rectangle, and the rectangle has attribute of width, which is width. Attribute of height also. Height. Fill. Attribute of fill, which is it is black, because we need to hide. And then also we need to append to the rectangle, we need to append circle element. Okay, so circle is also another SVG element. Circle. So circle is it is a bit different from the rectangle. Obviously it has the attributes are also different. So it starts with the CX, CY, and the radius R. So the radius is the size of the circle. CX and CY. So CX and CY we can define as the center of our center of our SVG element. So CX is width divided by 2, CY is height divided by 2, and radius, which is I think R. We can have it to be, we can have it to be a constant. So I put 100, but I can define constants here. So yes, radius. Yeah. Okay, so that's mask 1, and the mask 1 we need to decide where we need to put it under. And we would have another mask as well, which is like the inversion. So apart from this, also we need to do the important thing, which is the fill. The fill is white. That's the important thing. And I told you we need another mask as well. So the other mask is the inversion of this one. So we copy it, and we need to paste it. So we just change the ID of this one to be white. So it's just the inversion of the previous mask. Yeah. So that's about it. Let's see. So we had now 2 masks. Um, Also, we need another rectangle that goes in the opposite direction as well, because this horizontal rectangles we need to draw them as well. So we can do that as well by it's just inverting this top one. So we just grab this, copy, and then we just paste that one. Okay, so this is the next one. And here we need same thing. Yeah, rectangle. Okay, so here we don't need the width. We need the height. Um, so like rectangle, 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 it's predefined. Okay, so here what I did is created two data arrays, one for the vertical one, vertical, and then this one is for the horizontal. Horizontal. Spelling mistake. Horizontal. No. And here the rect width is the width, right? And then the height is going to be height is going to be the rect. But width is not a good name, so rect size might be better. Rect size. Here also we need to make it like rect size, and x would be yeah, x would be 0, but the y would be this, the function of the data. So that's okay. If we save this, okay, there's rect width. Oh yeah, so here we need to change rect width. So okay, so what's happening here is when we select all of the rectangles, and when we select all of the rectangles here, it is overwriting the rectangles that we did here. So that's what's happening. So we need to do something called group elements. We need to group these elements together so that they don't interfere with the other one. So SVG has a group element. So it acts like a container for children elements, so that when we select all rectangles again, it doesn't interfere with the previous rectangles. So right now it's overwriting them. So to fix that, we just append G like that, and then here also we can append G. Append G. Like that, and I think yeah, now it works. So now everything is overlapping with each other. So the horizontal lines and the vertical lines are overlapping with each other. So to prevent that, we need to use the mask. So the mask would make it so that it looks like this. So that's what we need to do. So basically, the mask, we can move everything The rectangles we can move them. We can. I'm just going to move them down here. Okay, then and yeah. Once I do that, then I can use the masks that I created here and append them into the rectangles. Okay, so I just need to decide on which masks to use for which rectangles. So for the first one, so when we need to append the mask to a, you know, certain certain element, we need to use the mask attribute, and we need to, you know, pass the ID of the mask like this under the URL function. So that's how the mask gets applied. So let's do that. So that one I think we can just do with the mask in the URL like that. Mask one. Um, yeah, let's try the mask one and the mask two and see what happens. Edit mask, the URL that is mask two. Okay. Let's see what happens. I think it should be the other way around. Okay, still it doesn't work. How about we let's see what happens. Let's see. Okay, we append the mask to this one to the horizontal lines, and the horizontal lines the the circle is flat. So this should be mask one because we need to show them in the circle, and then yeah, they should be mask 2. That's correct, but it doesn't work as we want it to. So um so the fill is I just need to see this mask. Uh, just copy that one and go here. Just delete everything. Just, okay, so the circle, it doesn't work. That's the issue. The rectangle fill is white. Circle. Maybe it's because I put this in. The circle is the issue. For circle, um, uh, maybe it might be not fill but type. Time background. No, it still doesn't work. Um, table 800, height 600. Okay, now it um fill fill okay. That, okay, so that it is create this from this. Okay, now it works. Okay, so I see the problem. We have pinned in this. So okay. Okay. We can't append. So the problem is when we try to append the circle into the rect, it doesn't render. So we can't do that. So we need to do something like this. Let's do that append. We need to format our code a bit. And yeah, do this. Let's do dot append the circle. And we need to do it for the above mask as well. So the issue was the circle was inside the rectangle, so it didn't render properly. And now I think it would render. Okay, copy that one. This should be mask 1. So I need to invert this one. This is black, white. before you finish it. Oh yeah, yeah. This should be mask one. Okay, so now we have a Sol-Vit piece, but the circle is a bit small. But we can fix that because we just need to change the constant here. So 300, we oh that's too large. 250 should be okay. Okay, so this is yeah, so this is kind of like Sol-Vit. So we were able to make it using D3JS one. Yeah. So yeah, so by manipulating the DOM using D3JS, we were able to create this art piece. So yeah, with D3JS we can do a lot of things. You know, we can use it to create our own graphics to visualize the data that we have in a low-level custom manner using element-free operators. And there is a lot that is there inside this library. So this is a really huge library, and yeah, you can use, there's a lot of things that we can do with this. So this is the first thing that we created, but I would like to extend this into yeah, we can also save this file as well. I think we can yeah, so I would like to extend this this application by having a bit of filters in the top part here, so that we can change the size of the circle, change the how many rectangles there are, the user, if the user can change that, and even introduce colors into this lines rather than the black and white by using a color picker. And if we can do that in real time, I think that would be a good application and a good way to learn about D3JS as well. So I think I have been streaming for like now, yeah, for almost about an hour, I think. That's good. Let's see. Okay, so I think I can do a little bit more. So what I'm going to do right now would be to, let's see. If I can introduce some controls to this thing, so that would be good. So parents. So D3 does select the body, and I just want to create a appended div into this one, so that I can add the style attribute. I think it should be 100%. Then display, let's put it flex. Height maybe about 25%. Okay, that created a small div, but can do like 10. Yeah, that would be good. So for the params, I can like append stuff. So params that append like a select box basically. So even the select, we can use the join operator. So that's the cool thing. So before the select, I would append the like uh, label dot text. I think it should say something like stuff like triangles. Let's see if we can do this. Yeah, we can do that. Okay, so params with append. That's the label. Then input tag. It's the normal input. Okay, that's too much. Dot attribute. Okay. Bit, no, the height should be percent. It should be like, okay, that's too small. What try and okay, so that's not that good. In the flex CSS property, you can center line stuff. So line items center. Can do that. That looks kind of okay, but the height, I think. Style 25%. 25% is good with see it's 10%, and also we need another attribute which is the type. This is a number. No, it's not a number, it's a spinner, right? Spinner. No, it doesn't work. Input types, let's see. Radio password submit recent file, yes. And there's a lot of things. Weak URL text range. I think it's should maybe it's range is not that one. Okay. Range also looks good, but I remember there was like a spinner kind of thing where you can number. So yeah, it's number. But I put number. That was my first guess, but right, okay. So it's so when you focus on it, it appears. So can I do like a max value for this? Okay. Put attribute max like 10, like repeat. I think you can number difference. Count it min max. Yeah, put max. Okay, min. All right. Min should be 50. Yeah, I can't go below 15, but I can go above 15. Yeah, this is good. This is what I want. And I have another one. Yeah, that's the size of the circle. if I can just copy this and then paste it, and I see a lot of duplicated code, but yeah, we can refactor this everything into functions and then reuse them. But for now, I'm just going to hard code most of them. So this one, and yeah, we need IDs as well. So for the min, let's say it's about 100. That's a good value. Then margin. Um, style margin, 15 pixels. Yeah, that's good. Also here you can't go below 100. That's nice. Yeah. So we just need to put some IDs onto this one. IDs as in bits. So ID, this is circle txt circle. This one attribute ID txt txt size size txt circle txt vector. And then we can also add two params, can like a button, and in the button we can add like we can do attribute which has oh no, we text which is update, regular update. That attribute style maybe margin left of 20 pixels, something. Yeah, that looks okay. Maybe padding 10 pixels. Probably left, padding top of 0, padding bottom. Yeah, we can play around with this, but yeah, I just want to create a small UI like this, and then maybe another attribute that says that has on click, and on click of update, something like this. Then when you press this one, it should give error saying update is not defined. And if we come over here and we define a function, say update, text in the event, this one, and console.log updated. Let's see. Yeah, it calls this one, and we just need to get some of the information. So txt circle dot value penalty. There should be circle circle radius, and circle radius txt circle dot value. just parsing it like that, and then okay. So basically, if the user doesn't provide a value, we can just get the default value. So rect size is also txt rect dot value is empty, then size send txt rect dot. Okay, so it works with cr. Let's see if the parameters 250. So 16, yeah, it works. Right. So by using these values, we just need to re-render the you know this we can re-render the basically the art piece over here. I'm just going to remove the event parameter from here because we don't need that one. And yeah, we just need to move everything in our we just need to move everything. So all of these things I'm going to just cut them, and then I'm going to simply paste them over here. Okay, I don't okay. So I'm going to wrap the function, the update function here, and then paste that like so. Yeah, and this one going to it's going to take the parameters, and then basically I think we can revert everything. um mm, I think this should work, but mm, I wonder if it would overlap with the previous uh, with the previous uh, yeah, I need to copy these things as well. Is that mm, that one, and then recalculate the data base. I think it should. No. Oh yeah. So the other thing is we need to call the update it over here. I use not defined. I yes I okay. Okay. So now we get the same. Uh, I think it's let me check. 300. Yeah, it's overwriting the it's appending, so it's not deleting and then appending. So how can we refresh the graph? See, we have to refresh as we did before. Okay, so this is a common problem of redrawing. Okay, so it says us to even this SVG I need to put it inside put this inside I need to put this also inside the update function, and um, then remove it. Mm, Switch.3D. Oh, I can just create a global variable like this. This 3D, Switch.remove. Okay, I think could work. Could work. Uh, yeah, yeah, it's updated now. Okay, so yeah, so here we can we can do a lot of stuff. We can update the table now, update the art piece now dynamically using the parameters. Um, so yeah, so what we did was we just removed the switch element before the update, everything inside the switch element, and then we appended a new one, and then we redraw the same thing. And that's how the update works. Otherwise, it's going to draw on top of all the switch elements. So yeah, mm, that's good. there's one more thing, which is the color. The color, yeah, some people might not like the black color, so we can quickly do that also. And that one, we just need to add a params.append input, and there is an input type called I think it's called color. ID of txt color attribute. Yes. And attribute text. Text should be style margin left of 15. Okay, so the color, yeah, this is a color picker that we can use to, change the color of the rectangle. So this is pretty nice. So when you select update, we need to update the colors as well. Okay, let's see how we can do that. As txt color dot color dot value. Okay, so the value returns a hexadecimal value. Let's see if we can add this one to the Oh yeah, so it works. We just need to select the fill. We need to add it to the element. So how can I do that? So it's quite simple. So our color is just txt color dot value is equal to, no, I think it could work. So this one, so none of these rectangles have colors, so we just attribute fill our color. Even this one, not attribute fill, it's our color. So you do that, and then let's see, I can put, yeah, so the color changes. Okay, that's nice. It's yeah, so this is something you can do in D3.js. So yeah, that's D3.js. I mean, an introduction to D3.js, and this code I will upload to GitHub, and I will share the URL in the description of the video, so that you guys can also tweak around with this and play around and see what you can create with this. And I hope you learned a lot from this stream. So thanks for watching, and subscribe, and have a nice day.